guys, I want you guys to buckle up for this video because we're about to break down signs of a person that has borderline personality disorder. Now, looking back at the past, I've dealt with definitely a few people that had that, and it's gut-wrenching, to be honest, because you can see a side of that person that it's good. They seem like a lovable person, they seem like a caring person, which they are, but man, they have a disorder for a reason. I mean, it's devastating having to deal with something like that, because there's that side, like I said, where they're lovable, caring, normal. And somewhere along the line, something happens, something triggers in their brain to go into a completely different mode. And they don't mean to, but they turn on you. As crazy as it may sound, the person that literally showed you love, compassion, empathy, and everything completely turns on you. And it's not because they really want to deep down inside. It's because of their disorder. They will turn on you. They have abandonment issues. They turn on you because something triggers in their brain. It's almost like a voice. It's like an evil voice is telling them that you're going to leave them. So they have this abandonment issue for no reason. You could treat them like royalty, not show one sign that you're a player, or you're going to play them, or you're going to abandon them or leave them. You could do everything perfect, and I mean flawless. And something will still trigger their brain, and they will completely turn on you. And it's gut-wrenching. It's very confusing to deal with something like that. And it's so tough to go through, because you could really love and care for that person a lot. So you kind of stay. You kind of stick around. Even if they leave you, you kind of want to still be there. They might leave for a while and want to come back, which is a normal thing for them. And you will take them back. But there's only a certain amount of times you will take them back before you realize that it is not going to get better. And that is what I recommend, is not taking them back. Because I've done it a lot of times. I've done it too many times. And it ended in the same result. I can't afford to feel that type of pain any longer, is what my mind was telling me. Probably the exact same with you guys. When you've dealt with that so many times, it just becomes so crystal clear on what's going to happen again. It's very confusing in the beginning, but you start to catch on to the rhythm. You start to catch on to what's going to happen. I started to predict what was going to happen before it even happened, so it stopped affecting me at that point, because I've seen it coming. And like I said, they don't mean to do it. At heart, deep down to their core, they're not bad people. And you can see glimpses of what you guys could have been, which what keeps you around. You don't want to give up on them, because you know how good they are when things are good. Amazing. And it's who they really are, but they have that disorder. And unfortunately, it's a terrible disorder that could potentially ruin their lives and ruin a lot of lives as well that is involved with them. That isn't family, because family is always going to be there. They're not going to abandon their own family if it's their parents or whatever, but if it's just a relationship partner or something like this, maybe even a friend, they can abandon them. And to be on the other end of that, gut-wrenching. You don't want to give up so easily on the person because you like them, but you have to. You literally have to, unless they got serious help and overcame their disorder, which is a very high percentage of a chance that they're not going to do it. So you got to move on from that situation, brothers and sisters. Girl or guy, guy or girl, whatever it is, you got to move on from that situation, or you're going to be living in a complete hell and misery, confusion. It's going to, not only is it going to ruin your love life, it's going to ruin a lot of other areas of your life as well. It's going to get you thinking negative thoughts that you don't want to think. It can mess you up in a lot of ways. It can get you to doubt yourself. It can do a lot of things. And all these things happened to me until I started to catch on to this pattern and realize none of this is my fault. I'm doing all the right things. I know for a fact I am. And in fact, this person has a huge problem. So that's when things are going to get a lot better, when you realize that it's not you, because they will get you to question sometimes that it's you when you were damn near perfect. You did everything right. They will get you to doubt yourself like that, and it's crazy. That's what a personality disorder will do to a person. Some people laugh at stuff like that. Oh, a personality disorder, ha ha ha, and think it's so funny, but it's a pretty serious thing. If you deal with somebody with a personality disorder, it's a very serious matter. Like I said, people can laugh about it and not think clearly on it. Because if you just say a personality disorder, it sounds a bit funny if you're not educated or nothing like that. And if you're a young person, you're probably going to have a laugh. Oh, that's so hilarious. They have a personality disorder. It's a serious matter. Especially if a person has it that you love and care for. Because it doesn't just get better. They're not just going to stop their ways. It's going to be there. And when you have to be on the other end of that, it's devastating. They could be good for a whole month straight. Not one problem, not one argument, nothing. Everything was good. You guys hung out, you guys did things together. You were together a lot. And then one day, on a given day, the person's mood, attitude, persona just completely changes. And they go so completely against you because of their disorder. And it's crazy that stuff like that can even happen, because how could that happen when things are going so good and making the other person feel so good with how much that you're just there and caring for them and being there for them. That's how crazy this disorder is. That's why I don't recommend being with somebody like that. I just don't. It's not worth it. If you care for the person, give them the best advice and tell them to get help. Seek out for help. ASAP. Because it's the only way anything's gonna get better for them. And it's the only chance that you have to actually maybe quite possibly be with that person in the future. Which chances are it won't happen. Chances are it's not going to happen. So you got to leave that person be. And whatever. It's the people that are so quick to go to somebody else, to go to you, to go to somebody else after that, somebody else after that. They talked a big game with every single person they were with. They probably talked about these relationships, marriage, having kids at a certain age, and all this wishy-washy shit. I'm telling you guys now, that's another huge sign that somebody has borderline personality disorder. The reason why they bring up all this stuff and talk about it right out the gates is because they have these issues to begin with. They want to feel secure. They want to talk with these things about you, and you can think it's super weird. I thought it was like half normal whenever I was younger, because I legitimately thought things were going to go through with me and this person. We're going to get older. we're gonna do this at this certain age, and we're gonna make things happen. But it's all a dream. It's all a fantasy in their head, and they feel the need to have to discuss those things to feel safe. So it's an everyday thing for a person like that with borderline personality disorder to discuss those things. I'm telling you, man, these females, I'm a male, so I'm speaking from my experience. These females, bro, they do this with so many different dudes. Like, you're not special in that regard that they were talking to you about this kind of stuff, because they're going to do it to the next guy that they're with, and the next guy after that, and the next guy after that. It's what they do because they don't have a grip on reality. They don't have a grip on life and how it really is. Their personalities are fucked up, bro. They really don't have one. They don't. So everything about them is just crazy. And it sucks being on the other end of it. Terrible. Which is why I don't recommend it. So if you're talking to a new person and they want to say things like they're talking about having kids with you way too soon, fast, married at a certain date, kids at a certain date, having a house at a certain date, doing this at a certain date, doing that at a certain date, red flag. Red flag. Because if you're talking to a person and it's actually legit, you guys are going to hang out an awful lot before anything like that is brought up. It shouldn't be the first things that's being conversated about. You want to get the feel of somebody in real life, not all this stuff over text. That's all a dream. That's all their fantasy. It's not real. And you're not the only one they're doing it to. This is how these people operate. A real person is going to be genuinely interested in you. You're going to hang out in person a lot. You're going to get to know each other over time. And down the line, things like that can come up. Because you kind of feel it, they kind of feel it. You're going to make them your girlfriend, you're going to make them your boyfriend, whatever. Things like that are eventually going to be discussed. It's not something you didn't even really hang with this person at all before, and they're saying these things already. Bro, the only time I was ever fooled by stuff like that when I was super young. Whenever I got older, from probably like 19 and up, that stuff was always a huge red flag to me, and I didn't even know about narcissists at that time. I didn't know about borderline personality disorder. I didn't know about any of this stuff. I just knew this shit happened to me before, and it was complete bullshit. And I know it's bullshit this time again, because it feels like the exact same thing with a different person. And it was the truth. And that's what I'm saying. If things like that are happening, I guarantee you, it's washed. It's not real. And that person is not real. They have a disorder. It just so happens to be borderline personality disorder. You don't deal with people like that, bro. You don't. And the only reason why you do, or why you did, if you were me, like I don't today, the reason why I did is because I seen the good side of that person. And it was enough to make me want to make things work with that person. They sound very normal, very kind, very caring, very compassionate. Everything I would want in a female. Super good looking. Good looking family. Got along with the parents just great. Everything checked out the boxes. So when things start to get weird, you don't just want to give that up. You want to make it work. Especially not even knowing what's going on at the time. But you got to give it up. I gave away too many chances, way too many chances whenever back in that day. I'd never give those chances again. I cut people rather off fast today when I see certain things that I don't like. There's a few girls that I talked to as well that were a little younger than me. And I could just tell they were not ready. I could just tell. And I just kind of let it fade off. There wasn't nothing built up serious. Talking stage. But some talking stages just fade out, and these were kind of like that because I just knew they weren't ready. Some people just ain't. You just got to let them live life a little bit longer. Something could happen down the line. You never know. But you just got to let things be. A lot of people have this fear in life like, oh my God, I don't want to lose this person. That's where I was in the past when I was young. I've never lived that way. Like, I've dated girls for a pretty long, extended period of time when I was 20 and 21 and 22. I had no problem losing these girls when things were not going right. Did I necessarily want to? No. But I had no problem letting things just go. Because I understand that's how life is. Some things just aren't meant to be. Sometimes that's how you have to be. Too many people have this fear. They don't want to lose that person. You can't live that way because whatever is meant to happen absolutely will happen. You can't force things. And you can't change people. You can help people. You can teach people some things, but you can't change them. If you're a female and you want like a certain caliber of love from a male, and you're trying to change him into loving you a certain way, caring for you a certain way, doing things for you in a certain way, he might start doing that. But eventually over time, that relationship right there, guys, is going to come to an end. Because that man is not being authentic to who he is. He's doing things for you in a certain way because you feel that's what you want at this point in life. You as a female are going to cut off that relationship. You're probably going to break that guy's heart into pieces because he invested so much into you. He did so much for you. He changed his whole shit because of you. He did a lot. But you, over time, are going to lose a lot of attraction for that guy because he's not even who he was when you first got together. He's completely different now. He's like a robot to your life. There's young females today, and old, but there's a lot of young females today doing this to guys. That's what you call simps. That's what you call beta males. You can't do that. I was considered... I don't know if I consider myself that in the past when I was like 15, 16. But if I was ever that, it'd be the closest time to that point, and it's scary to look back at, but it is what it is. I was a young guy, unexperienced. I still had alpha traits. I was still hella into sports, hella fit. But I just did more so things to make her happy. I'm not really... When to an extent you got to, but it's like you follow her lead too much. You kind of do too much of what she wants you to do. You can't do that. If you're a guy and you have a female like that, you have to let her go. You have to, because it's going to end bad for you. I'm telling you guys right now, it's going to end very bad. The way a healthy relationship works is if a guy, he's on point as a man, he's got his priorities straight. And a female is the same way in her right. And I don't mean you guys have the same priorities, because the priorities that a man has to have to be a successful man is one way, a female in another way. Both parties have to be on point and come together in their own way. And I'm not saying a female has to have the same priorities as a man. That's not what I'm saying, and that's just what I explained. It's not the truth. She has to have her priorities straight as a woman. A man has to have his priorities straight like a man. You come together. You make it work. You make it happen. There's nothing being forced. You don't got to be a certain way or act a certain way for the other person. It's not authentic. It's not realistic. It's this It's this fantasy that women have that they want to mold things like that together, not knowing it's going to come to an end. It will every single time. That's how breakups happen. That's how people get married so quick and divorces happen. That's just how it happens. And some guys think it's a good idea to go right ahead and to do that. Do what she wants. Do what she wants. Happy wife, happy life. Let's do what she wants. Yeah, let's go through with this. Yeah. Say yes to everything. No. You're not a yes man. You're just a man. So she has to be able to respect that. And she's not going to respect you if you abide to her rules all the time and do what she wants all the time. She's not. She's going to be wearing the pants. She's going to emasculate you. And it's just toxic. You see things like this happening. I see young kids in relationships today, and that's what it's like. Not every single one of them, but there's some that's like that today. And I can guarantee you now, it will come to an end. 100%. Like, there's a lot of things in life that you can see happening before it even happens. And I tell some of the younger guys that I talk with here and there, do not get caught up into a female, especially at this age. Especially at the age they're at. Do not do that. It's going to be your worst mistake. I'm not saying don't date her. I'm not saying not. You got to take some risks. You got to do some things, but don't get too caught up into it. Like, it can come to an end pretty quick. And I just think a lot of those females get these guys in trouble. It happened to me. That's what I'm saying. Even other females know a lot of other females are messed up, bro. This isn't rocket science. This is just the truth. And a lot of these types of chicks have borderline personality disorder. Not all these girls. There's some girls that's just kind of crazy. That they don't have borderline personality disorder, but they're just kind of crazy. But the ones with borderline personality disorder, it's the worst. They're like Hollywood actors, paid actors. They act so authentic and vulnerable and just like everything's on point at one point in time, and then it's a complete reverse. It's horrendous. So, bottom line, don't date these people. Know who you are. Know your worth. Know who the F you are. And that's all you have to know. Man or woman. Know who you are. Don't let nobody change you. You already know you're on point. You already know you're playing your role as a man or as a woman. There's no need to change you. If somebody feels the need to change you to be, and they're a controlling person, if it's not for the better, because you can help people, you can change people for the better, but they're not changing you for the better. They're changing you for the worst, even if they think it's good. It's not. If you're getting people to improve on their fitness and stuff like that, you're changing people for the better. You're making them healthier. Or in other ways as well, you're teaching them things that's actually good. That can maybe actually make them money, or can do this, or can do that. Those are positive things. Those are things that you can change people for the better. You don't change people for the worse. You don't. If a person's already on point and you want to change them to abide to their rules, that's not good. So, know where you stand. And if you are on point as a man or a woman, these things are not going to have you fooled. It's when you're not on point is when they can fool you. Looking back, when I was 15, 16 years old, I wasn't fully on point because I was still a young kid. That's where I got fooled. So, it's not a surprise. Just a little kid. And I still felt like a savage at that age, to be completely honest, but you're still a kid, you're still a young kid, and you don't have the experience in life yet. There's a lot of things I didn't know at that age, 10 years ago. And there's a few young kids around that age now that I'll speak to sometimes, and I'll tell them, And I try to tell them. Some kids that age have big heads too. They think they know it all. They think they got it all figured out. And it's not the case, bro. You're going to see real quick. You're going to see real quick. It's a big wake-up call. Especially when you're dealing with somebody with a personality disorder and you don't know it. But you're going to know it, and it's going to mess you up. It's going to mess you up for a while. Your mind's going to be all messed up. You're not going to know what to do, where to go. Things are just going to be all cloudy. So, but the best thing about life is really getting hit with reality. Reality checks are an amazing thing. Every single one of us need reality checks. It's great for everybody. Without them, you're kind of in that gloomy, weird world where things don't really make sense. But the more reality checks, the better. The more things do make sense. The more you're going to level up, the harder you're going to work. And the real prize in life is becoming the best you can be. It truly is. Health is wealth. If you can be on point, you're going to have no problem in damn near any areas. You just want life to go the way you want it to go. You have goals, you have visions, you have things that you want to go a certain way, and hard work will make that happen. So, yeah, that's pretty much up this video. So, I hope you guys understand and enjoyed this video. Another day, another dollar. Keep the ball rolling. Do a bit of work. Go to the gym. Be all good. Be on point to health and fitness. Be all good. Drink your water. Take your vitamins. Eat your bananas. Wear your MAGA hats. Making this old bitch great again, bro.